Hi guys, so I've started doing this group called the STEPPS group, which stands for, I'll tell you, Systems Training for Emotional Predictability and Problem Solving UK. So what it is it's just like a skills group, and it's for people with BPD or borderline personality disorder. I'll explain a bit more what that is, but I reckon you can use the skills a lot even if you don't have BPD. So I'm going to go through a bit about what the folder is. I think the first week is about awareness of illness, so it's about learning about BPD. So I'm going to film one of these videos every week after I go to the group. And my next group is tomorrow actually, so I'll film a video after that. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. So that's the agenda. First, we did like guidelines, so attend every group, homework assignments are a key element, and stuff about that, about confidentiality and stuff. So I can't mention anyone's names or what they've said, but I can mention about the skills and stuff so that you guys can use them and help utilise them in your daily life. It's just stuff about self-care and stuff that you can do to, like if you're having a bad thought, to move the thought out of your head. So getting the most out of STEPPS training group. Focus on the present, the here and now, assume personal responsibility for your behaviours, avoid blaming others, learn to listen to others, be prepared to reflect back on what you heard. Experiment with new behaviours learned in the group. When giving feedback to the group members or leaders, be specific. Give it as soon as possible, be direct, begin with something positive, describe what you perceive and feel. When receiving feedback from group members or leaders, acknowledge the feedback. Repeat what you heard the person say, avoid making excuses, ask for clarification on anything you do not understand. Try not to become defensive. You do not have to agree with the feedback given, but do listen and consider it. Regularly review your goals, be patient. Change takes time and often continues past the last group meeting. And then there's a contract we had to sign. It's more of a contract to yourself though, not to anyone else. It's like saying that you're going to try. So this is borderline personality disorder. This is what it's marked as in the DSM, which is like an illness book, a book of all illnesses, where it basically tells you the symptoms of each one. So it's a pervasive pattern of instability of interpersonal relationships, self-image and affects mood, and marked impulsivity beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts, as indicated by 5 or more of the following. So you've got to have 5 or more of the following things to be diagnosed with BPD. And I think it can apply to quite a lot of people. Like my mum was reading it and she was like, well, I get that sometimes, but the difference is people with BPD feel it a lot more. It's a difference between like a little shower of rain and a full-on thunderstorm or hurricane. It's like someone might feel sad, but someone with BPD, so someone might feel sad and be about here, and someone with BPD will feel sad but go like this and just drop straight away. But they tend to have mood changes quite a lot. So it's marked by the following. 1. Frantic efforts to avoid real or imagined abandonment. Note, do not include suicidal or self-mutilating behaviour covered in criterion 5. So efforts to avoid like someone leaving you, or you might withdraw from them completely just to see if they even care. I don't have this one, but quite a lot of people I've spoken to with the illness do struggle with feeling like they're being abandoned, but I have quite a supportive family, so I feel like they'll always be there for me. And as with friends, some of them are crap anyway, so I really don't care. But the ones who make an effort to try with me, I'll make an effort to try with them. It's kind of a two-way thing, friendships, aren't they? Like, if someone's going to just take from me all the time, I'm just not going to bother with them, so yeah. 2. A pattern of unstable and intense interpersonal relationships characterised by alternating between extremes of idealisation and evaluation. So that's like, this happened with one of my friends actually. She was like my best friend, we were amazing, and then suddenly I just started being like, she always takes from me, she does nothing for me, she just expects me to be there for her and she won't be there for me. So it went from being absolutely great to absolutely horrible. So it's kind of unstable relationships, alternating between being fantastic and being terrible. So it's like one or the other. Sorry, I've got a really bad cold. Might sound a bit snuffly. 3. Identity disturbance. Persistent and markedly disturbed, distorted or unstable self-image or sense of self. I get this quite a lot. I have an unstable self-image because I always want to be thinner than I am. And I'm not happy being the way I am ever. So I'm as happy now as I was when I was like 3 stone lighter. I still wasn't happy being 3 stone lighter than I was now. So I guess that's that. And number 4 is impulsivity in at least 2 areas that are potentially self-damaging, e.g. spending, sex, substance abuse, reckless driving or binge eating. Or I guess it could be starving as well. Oh my god. Yeah, I guess it could be starving yourself as well. Number 5, recurrent suicidal behaviour, gestures or threats, or self-mutilating behaviours. That's the one that kind of gets to me, because when you have BPD, people assume that every time you say you feel suicidal, you're just making a threat. Whereas it takes a lot for me to say to someone, look, I'm feeling suicidal. And when I say that, I really do mean it. I'm not trying to say it so that they panic or so I get a reaction from them. Like, I'm genuinely feeling like that. So that's the one that gets to me, because people with BPD are often labelled attention seekers and they just want reactions off people, and that gets to me quite a bit because it's not a label that you want to have, really. I mean, fair enough if it's a label that fits you, but I don't think that fits everyone with BPD, and I think they get stuck in the same pot. Number 6, affective instability due to a marked reactivity of mood, e.g. intense episodic dysphoria. Is that how we say it? Dysphoria? Dysphoria. Irritability or anxiety, usually lasting a few hours and only rarely more than a few days. Up and down mood, basically. That happens to almost everyone with BPD. Your mood goes up and down because when you have BPD, you have a problem with your amygdala, which is the part that regulates emotions in your brain, and they react a lot slower or quicker. Was it slower or quicker? Anyway, whatever happens, it takes you longer to process emotions. And so, like, someone could get bad news, and then, like, so say my parents and I both received the same bad news. They might be over it in a couple of days, whereas I'd still be dreading it for, like, the next 3 weeks or whatever. So it's just about how you react to emotions. 7, chronic feelings of emptiness. Basically feeling depressed and empty. 8, inappropriate, intense anger or lack of control of anger, e.g. frequent displays of temper, constant anger, recurrent physical fights. This can also be imploding anger, so like anger that you keep to yourself and it just eats away at you and it burns inside. And I sometimes keep it all in until it bursts, and when it bursts, it goes down. Which isn't the best way to handle anger, but people with BPD sometimes find it really difficult to handle anger. 9, transient stress-related paranoid ideation or severe dissociative symptoms. Being paranoid... Oh, I've just got a thing that came up. Okay. I had to turn my head this way because my iPad's, like, rotated. So, yeah, paranoia, so you think everyone's looking at you, or you think people are judging you, or you're paranoid about other things. And dissociative symptoms are like when... I kind of describe it like... I don't get dissociation a lot, but I have had it a couple of times, where it's almost like a daydream, like you're looking at yourself, but you're not really in your body. It's like... how do I describe it? I don't know, maybe Google it. Not very helpful, I know. So, I'm going to end the video here after I've described the skills, because this is all we did in lesson 1. It was just about awareness of illness. So, the skills that you were going to learn over the next 20 lessons are Filters, distancing, communicating part 2, challenging part 2, challenging part 3, distracting part 1, distracting part 2, managing problems part 1, managing problems part 2, behaviour management, setting goals, eating and sleeping, exercise, leisure and physical health, abuse avoidance, relationship behaviours part 1, relationship behaviours part 2, and wrapping it all up. So that's what we're going to learn, and I'll do a video every week and make sure I keep you up to date with that, and it's all in my handy yellow file. So yeah, I'll make sure I keep you up to date with that, and I hope you're all doing well, and if you have any suggestions you can drop me an inbox or leave me a comment, and I'll definitely do your videos if you have any suggestions. So yeah, let me know how you're doing as well. I'd like to know how you guys are doing. Alright, bye!